Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is the start of another series I'm thinking about doing. This is video 1. So I'm going to be looking at Ben Sturgill's LottoX. So for you guys that don't know who Ben is, he is a guru. I hate that word so much, but he's a guru at RagingBull.com, one of the biggest stock alert and educational services out there. And he's been doing this for a couple of years now. This is him right here. He was a professional basketball player, I think, before he started trading. He seems to be trading for quite a while though. Seems really good at what he does, and his services at Raging Bull are really entertaining. I really like them a lot. The one I've been following the most is LottoX. So he runs a bunch of different ones. Dark pool picks. Took over some of them from his predecessors before the whole saga with Raging Bull. But he's actually doing a really good job, so I thought I'd go through LottoX, and then every week I'm hoping to do an update of that week's trades, the same way that I've been doing with Bullseye from Jeff Bishop, the co-founder of Raging Bull. So if you guys haven't seen these videos yet, every week I'm trying to do an update. So this was this week's, last week's, the week before is over here somewhere. So I'm basically given what the trade was once it's finished, so it's no longer in play. I'm kind of going through it and showing you like what would have happened if you played it, if you remember, and all that type of stuff. It's like a different level of transparency from what I think most people give, and it really helps people make more of an informed buying decision when it comes to these services. So hopefully you guys find that useful, and I'm about to start with LottoX every week. So like I said, this is week 1, and let's get started. So I thought I'd do a quick overview of what actually LottoX actually is. It's a fairly simple system. It's actually pretty low cost, so at least for this launch, they're doing it at $45 a month, or $400 and something a year, which is amazing value for a service like this. So I'm pretty excited about it. What do you get? Well, you get email alerts for trades, you get live chat room stuff, you get video lessons, and there's a squeeze scanner as well, which I haven't used yet, but it looks pretty cool. So Ben Sturgill is definitely the main guy. I think Ethan's been playing a role recently. Don't know a lot about this guy. I'm learning a bit more about him as I go. I think he's fairly new to Raging Bull, but I might be wrong because I haven't been following him for a while. So the important thing to remember about LottoX is it is a high-risk, high-reward service. So if you're looking for those like junk food trades is what they call them, where you could 10x overnight, but you could also just go to zero. So like almost like binary options, right? You win or you lose. It's not quite as black and white as that, but that's how the sort of mentality is if you're taking these trades. Should kind of be how it is, in my opinion at least. If you go to this website, so I've put a whole review together here. I'll do the same thing I was doing with the Bullseye trades, where I keep updating every week. But you can go and learn like the basics and show, like there's a link here you can go to sign up for the lowest cost I've ever seen the service offered at. So come and check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. You can go and read this whole thing. I'll go through a bit of it now though, and then launch into the trades that happened this week. So LottoX, it's a service that basically they put out trades throughout the week. But the part of LottoX that I think most people are interested in, and certainly I am, is the 0DTE trades that come out at a set time on Thursday. So I love services that set like a particular time, because you aren't just randomly waiting for alerts. You can set that time aside to like sit down and look at these trades. And that's what these guys are doing on Thursday at 12:30 Eastern time. They go live. They do a live broadcast where they take the trades, like they go through and they find the trades, and then they issue the trade alerts within minutes of finding them with some commentary. And they issue the alerts via the dashboard on Raging Bull and via email after the session finishes as well. So it's only half an hour, but it's the same time every week at 12:30, and I think that's so important for consistency and to give us time to like put aside and just take those trades. It's why I like Bullseye trades so much, because I know what's coming when it's coming, which is great. Anyway, for you guys that don't know what 0 days to expiration is, 0DTE, so 0 days to expiration, it's option contracts that expire the same or sometimes the next day. And that's something I've always thought was weird. I always thought of 0DTE as 0 days to expiration, as in the contract's expired that day. But in this case, it's referring to the next day. So there's 0 full days to expiration should be like probably the way this is actually said. Because these trades are supposed to be taken around lunchtime on the Thursday, and held overnight. And you can see why, because this is a good example, and they're not all like this. This is an example of a good winner. Of course, you get duds, which I'll also show you. This is NVDA, 1400% overnight. So you can see here Thursday about $1, and then a big gap up the next day and hit $15, which is amazing. So that's what we're looking for with LottoX. The downside is if you're wrong and you're not careful, the options that you're in will probably hit 0 or at least lose 80% of their value. You can set a stop loss if you want. We can talk about that in a little bit. But it's not quite as black and white as like either it'll be huge or it won't be. In fact, I'll kind of go over a little bit the strategy that I know has been working somewhat at least with these trades. So yeah, Ben likes to call them junk food trades because they really are like high risk, high reward. The thing is, these are low cost contracts, so you can use $20 and buy one of these contracts if you want. And the worst that's going to happen is you're going to lose that $20, right? Or you lose half of it. So you can go really small into these because the returns can be quite large. So I kind of think of a little bit like angel investing or something, where quite a few, if not the majority, are not going to be great big winners, but there'll be 1 or 2 in that, say 10 that you take, that'll be huge winners and totally outweigh the losers. So pretty cool. Yeah, so like I said, you get the email alerts, you got the dashboard, you got the live chat room, and you have a whole host of video lessons which go over all the different 0DTE. I took a snapshot of the dashboard here so you can see this is what you get. Looking down. So like I said, one strategy you can do is to treat these trades, even though they're spicy, right, you can treat them like normal trades. So if this thing jumps 20-30% when you enter, you might want to take partial profits, or maybe all your profits, and run for the door. Leaving runners is a good idea though, because then you could capitalize on a big move overnight. And hopefully the worst that would happen is you break even. If you've taken some off at say 30%, then if you left 1, even if it goes to 0, then you're still good, kind of thing, you know. So that's definitely a suggestion. The people I know that are playing this well are taking profits rapidly and leaving runners. So if you're in the service or you're thinking about joining, keep that in mind as a way to kind of minimize your risk and maximize your potential reward. So like I said, Ben's from Kentucky, super experienced trader, over 15 years. He's been on Raging Bull for a while now, and he seems to be a really solid trader. So this is a screenshot from the other day. Actually, it's from the dashboard, so I looked back, and this was actually April 13th. So I looked back and just took like a random screenshot of their live chat room. So you can see it's pretty high quality. You have Ben on the right here, Ethan on the left, and in the background they have this big display so you can see the charts while we talk about it. It's pretty cool. It's very high quality. They also play some cool music right before the the live, so that's cool. So the way they find these things, it's all basically technical analysis. It's following on price action, things like breaking VWAP, moving averages, flags, DTM screens, all that kind of stuff. So there's nothing like super duper amazing, clever or anything. They do look at block trades, open interest, all that kind of stuff as well. It's really a really solid like due diligence service for people that want spicy end of week trades without all the work. I am putting together a track record because it's quite difficult to figure out what they're actually in, what they took, and what new subscribers could expect. So that's my goal here, is to try and put together a running track record so you guys can see it and go like, oh yeah, that kind of worked, okay, maybe I should do this. So I guess like I'm taking up the slack with the way these trades should be presented. Anyway, on to the real meat of stuff. So week 1 is this week's. So there's a typo there, I'll have to change that. It was the 7th of July, so Thursday just passed here. And basically these were the contracts that were alerted, so I put them in the article here. And this video, once I go through the actual trades, is going to go in here as well. So that's going to be the kind of going forward is how I'm going to try and present these to you guys. So these are the contracts. Let's have a look and see what happens. I think I have Amazon up on my broker at the moment. Yeah, so these are the Amazon contracts. And I put a red line here, which is the time of the alert, right? So around about here. So you can see Amazon pretty much flopped the next day. So this line here is end of Thursday into Friday. So Friday is from here onwards, and from here back to the line is Thursday till about lunchtime. So Thursday afternoon on this session, really nothing happened. These things just kind of failed and then flopped down. So Amazon was a dud, pretty much went to zero. The purple line is the theoretical option price, while the actual price is these the candles here. So Amazon was a flop. So you can see like the risk here is, you'll lose your entire investment or close to it overnight. So you got to be careful and assume that that's going to happen on some of the trades. So that's Amazon. Let's have a look at the other ones. So it's a pain to get the contracts out of Thinkorswim, so I put them into a PowerPoint here, so you guys can see them a bit better. So this is Amazon. So that was a flop. This one, pretty interesting. So this is back right about here where you'd have bought these things around the 0.6s. And this thing actually didn't do very much either. So Apple just kind of, didn't do much. It moved up to 0.85 from 0.6. So it's still like a 20% win. So you can see why I'm suggesting is, you might want to consider trimming if you get a move from 0.6 to 0.85. So there's probably a 30% move in here. Before the next day things kind of go downhill. So it's definitely something worth considering. When you look at the data like this, it's easier to say, all right, I'd rather take some profits here just in case we do this, and your loss would be mitigated if you've done that. So that's one option with Apple that happens. So no big winners really so far. Here's another one that kind of flopped, and the market was kind of pulled back at the open on Friday, so it had a bit of trouble. But you can see around here is where the options originally were, so like 0.2 or something. And you could have got a move up to 0.3, so like a 50% move. But then it was kind of flopped after that. So again, the same day, if you're up 20, 30, 40%, it's worth taking profits or partial profits on those. So nothing really very exciting happening on these options at all so far. So these ones are kind of wishy-washy. And telling the people that were in these trades, even the way they played them, most people were not making money on these ones this week. So they were very blah. So there was one though, this one, which was awesome. So you can see the price of the options here on the Thursday at lunchtime was like 0.2, and then this thing hit like 0.6. So these things moved massively the next day. So from Thursday lunchtime at 0.2 all the way up to 0.65. So this was the big winner, right? That's 200% or something. Tripled the price basically. So you'd have tripled your money on this one and kind of floundered around on the other ones. So you can sort of see, it's a pretty big winner, really, when you think about it. It doesn't look like much, but it's a pretty big winner. So this was LCID, the last one on the list, LCID. So yeah, it was trading around 0.18 at the time and then tripled the next day. So that's what my suggestion is kind of going forward is, and what I'm going to do going forward, is to try and take a small position in each of the main ones that they alert. And they do it in the dashboard as well as via email. So here's the email example. This wasn't the one from this week, it's just a random example I put in here. And you can see that they do a little bit of due diligence on here. So this one from the week before was at 0.22, the next day hit 2.6. So these things do really move, and there's some really good examples on this page. So this is the landing page. You can get to it via my article. And you can see watching these things, these are some of the winners they're parading, but remember, maybe 1 out of 5 will actually do this. Sometimes they all end up green, but really the big winners only happen every so often. But this is the kind of move you could expect with time to see. So you can see that this is Microsoft, NVDA, SQ 700%. So I think my overall sort of ambition with this service is to manage the losing trades and the break-evens, but still try to have enough exposure to catch 1 or 2 of these big moves and some of these things. So this is an example email, Apple, Meta, AMC, they'll send this stuff out. And there's not a lot of details because they expect you to manage these trades yourself. So literally that's what they'll say for that. These contracts are trading 0.35, and they won't even give an expiration because it's just assumed it's the next day, the Friday. So yeah. So here are some of the alerts on the dashboard. They'll pop up in your dashboard as they get taken during the live stream, which is really cool. So those are some of those. The video lessons are really interesting, probably worth the price of the service alone just for the video lessons. Thousands of videos, at least hundreds from what I can see. The squeeze scanner, not yet used it. I'm not sure how helpful it is really. But overall, I'm a pretty big fan of the service. Just the zero DTE part of the service is really amazing. So I'm excited to go forward and keep updating what track record is like with these trades and how we're playing them and stuff. It'll be pretty cool. Hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers.